It's a disgrace.
Absolute garbage in every sense.
Run.
Seriously? HBO Max? More like HBO Minimum? Well, I mean, it can't be that bad, can it? Velma, Velma, Velma. I think everyone on the internet has ripped this show a new asshole by now, but people mostly seem to complain about how it differs from the original show. And I get it. There's porn out there more faithful to the source material than Velma. Or so I've been told. But I decided to watch it and give it a fair shot. I won't compare it to the original show. As far as I'm concerned, this is just a regular cartoon comedy for adults with no history. I'm also willing to give up the fact that I've been compared to Shaggy in the comments section before. And even with me being this generous, Velma manages to be one of the worst things I've ever seen. I mean, my expectations were low, but Jesus Christ. With that being said, let me introduce you to the cringe fest that is Velma.
This is my story, told my way. And it starts with a murder, bitch.
Some would say the biggest murder in this show is the active killing of comedy itself, but Velma starts off with a literal murder.
She has no brain! I'm not dissing her, she has no brain!
One time is funny, 2 times is fucking annoying, no?
A carved out brain from the victim's skull would sound pretty interesting if it wasn't overshadowed in the first 5 minutes by one of the most obnoxious, annoying characters that I've ever seen. Velma. Yes, the title character. Words cannot describe how awful she is. Just imagine your spoiled schoolmate who wouldn't shut up about how rich his family is to disguise the fact that he doesn't have any friends. Well, that's exactly what you get from Velma. Her whole personality is basically making these funny remarks and thinking that everyone else is stupid. It's just painful.
Velma, that's not fair. I'm not just a waitress, I'm also
A basic bitch who doesn't even know how to use hashtags?
Look, this is a comedy mainly for teens. I'm not expecting any kind of depth from her as a character, but making the main protagonist borderline unbearable is not gonna go down well. And the worst thing is that it's probably done on purpose, so she can grow throughout the season to become less unlikable. But sadly, I won't make it to that point because it has lost me after 4 episodes, so what's the point? Oh, and while I'm at unbearable, let me talk about the very thing that's supposed to be Velma's bread and butter, comedy. It's probably the most subjective thing on the planet, but I'll try my best to explain it, okay? It fucking sucks.
Man, if I ever even think about getting into 420 culture, or especially 420 related humor, kill me. You know what 420 is, right?
Yeah, it's code for adults who still watch cartoons.
I laughed 2 times on average in 25 minutes. I once saw a gorilla at the zoo jerking off, and I couldn't stop laughing about it for 2 weeks. True story, actually. So my point is, making me laugh is not hard because I'm retarded. And it's not a big expectation from an adult comedy either. Give me a fart or a Holocaust joke, I'm here for all of it. And I will admit that I did chuckle once or twice.
Will I sell you a kidney to get the $500 I need to make Velma date me? I mean, I'd be a fool not to at this point, right?
But generally speaking, Velma can't even achieve the basic functions of a comedy. Just imagine deciding to make the series R-rated, so you have the opportunity for the most outrageous, crazy gags, and you get this instead.
I thought lesbians were good at solving crimes. It's like the one positive stereotype perpetuated by cop shows.
He did the same joke about 3 times already. I don't think it's funny anymore.
Meta humor, references to other shows, social critique, whatever, you name it. I do enjoy shows that reference social or political issues, but Velma does that in pretty much every scene, and it's so boring. The same shit you've heard millions of times. This show leans into the idea that it's a really self-aware parody, and it's bold to call out society, but in reality, it's just cringe. I can practically see the writing team winking at me and saying, "See how smart and funny we are?" And while it's trying to do these really profound things, it forgets to entertain. In all honesty, Velma feels like it was made for the creators to say what they think, and they kind of forgot to make a show, to make a story, or whatever. Therefore, the end result is an exhausting, soulless waste of your time. If you genuinely want to watch a ridiculously fun, over-the-top series that has social critique in it, just watch The White Lotus. It's the same. White, rich people are bad, but it's really entertaining and funny. So we have an exceptionally annoying show on our hands, thanks to the writers, and that makes me really angry because there is exactly one thing that's good about Velma, and that's the animation. I do not watch a lot of cartoons in general, and I'm not gonna pretend that I know anything about animation, but comparing Velma to similar shows, it looks just as good, if not better. There are these hallucination scenes that Velma keeps having after her mom left her, which is totally reasonable, by the way. I'd leave that annoying piece of shit in a second. So anyways, these are the scenes where I could feel the tiniest bit of creativity. Look at this, it's clean as fuck. Good job to the animation team, they were clearly the only ones who made an effort. Thanks. Oh, and the other characters besides Velma, nearly forgot to mention them. Well, they exist and they are not completely unbearable. Shaggy is actually pretty good, now called Norville for whatever reason. Yeah, they are not unbearable, I guess you could say that's pretty positive as well. So here is the conclusion. Velma is a complete mess. It's probably more cringe than all my videos combined, which is a huge achievement. Such a shame that it turned out the way it did, because on paper, the general idea of getting to know the characters and watching how they became a group sounds compelling, even if it strays far from the original source material. The execution, however, is just horrible, and the biggest mystery you're left with is the question, why does Velma even exist? If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, sub, or tell me your favorite genital warts in the comment section, and check out my other videos, they are just as bad as this one, trust me. Alright, bye.